In this video explains if it's better to buy or rent a house. Today we delve into this question with the help of a seasoned accountant. This topic is a common conundrum for those venturing into the world of home ownership. It's a significant decision, one that can impact your financial state for years to come. That's why we've called upon an expert in financial matters to guide us through this maze. So let's hear it from our expert accountant, who will shed light on this important decision. So, what are the benefits of buying a house? Let's hear it from our expert. First and foremost, buying a house allows you to build equity. Think of it as a savings account that grows over time. Each time you make a mortgage payment, a portion of that goes towards reducing the amount you owe on your house, hence increasing your equity. Over time, as you continue to pay down your mortgage, your equity grows. And in the long term, this could be a significant financial resource. Next, there's the potential for appreciation. Real estate markets fluctuate, but historically, over the long term, house prices tend to go up. This means that the house you buy today could be worth significantly more in the future. It's like a long-term investment that could pay off handsomely. Then there are the tax benefits. Depending on your situation, you may be able to deduct mortgage interest and property taxes from your income taxes. This could potentially save you a substantial amount of money every year. Now, it's important to consult with a tax advisor before you make any decisions because tax laws are complex and change frequently. But there's more to buying a house than just the financial aspects. There's also the freedom to customize. When you own your house, you can make it truly yours. Want to paint the walls a vibrant shade of purple? Go ahead. Have you always dreamed of a gourmet kitchen? You can make it happen. Your home can reflect your personality and style in a way that a rental property simply can't. And let's not forget the sense of stability and community that comes with owning a home. You're not just buying a house, you're becoming part of a neighborhood. You're setting down roots and creating a space that's truly yours. Those are some compelling reasons to consider buying. But what about renting? Could that be a better option? Now let's shift the spotlight to renting. What advantages does it offer? First and foremost, renting a house provides you with a great deal of flexibility. This is particularly advantageous for those who aren't ready to commit to a specific location, or who may need to relocate frequently for work or personal reasons. When you're renting, you're typically only tied down for the length of your lease, which is often 1 year. And after that, you're free to move to a new city, a different neighborhood, or even a different country if your heart so desires. In addition to this, renting often comes with minimal maintenance responsibilities. If the furnace breaks in the middle of winter, or if there's a leaky faucet, you won't have to worry about fixing it yourself or finding and paying a professional to do so. That's the landlord's responsibility. This can be a significant advantage, especially if you're not particularly handy, or simply don't want the hassle of dealing with home repairs. Now let's talk about costs. Renting can potentially have lower upfront costs compared to buying a house. When you buy a home, you'll need to come up with a down payment, which can be a significant sum of money. On the other hand, when you rent, you'll likely need to provide first and last month's rent, and possibly a security deposit, which, while not insignificant, is typically less than a down payment on a house. Furthermore, renting can often provide more predictable monthly expenses. While homeowners can face unexpected costs like a broken water heater or a leaky roof, renters usually only need to worry about their monthly rent and utilities. This can make budgeting easier and could provide more financial stability. So, as you can see, renting a house can offer a number of benefits, from flexibility and minimal maintenance responsibilities to potentially lower upfront costs and more predictable monthly expenses. It seems that renting also has its own set of benefits, but of course every decision has its drawbacks. Now that we've heard the pros, let's look at the other side of the coin. What are the drawbacks of buying a house? First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the high upfront costs. Buying a house for most people is the largest financial transaction they'll make in their lifetime. It's not just the mortgage payments, it's the down payment, the closing costs, the inspection fees, and so on. These can add up to a significant chunk of change that you need to have on hand even before you turn the key in the door. Speaking of money, there's also the potential for financial loss. Yes, traditionally, real estate tends to appreciate in value, but it's not a guarantee. The housing market can be volatile, and there's always a risk that your property's value could decrease. If you need to sell during a downturn, you could end up losing money, especially if you've only recently bought the property and haven't built up much equity. Then there are ongoing maintenance costs. When you own a house, you're responsible for everything that goes wrong with it. If the roof leaks, the furnace breaks down, or the plumbing goes haywire, it's on you to fix it. And these repairs can be costly. If you're not handy or if you don't have a good stash of savings set aside for home repairs, these costs can be a real burden. And let's not forget the lack of flexibility. When you buy a house, you're pretty much tied to that location unless you decide to sell, which can be a lengthy and costly process. If you're someone who values the ability to pick up and move easily, this can be a major downside. Lastly, there's the time commitment. Owning a home requires a lot of work, from regular maintenance to lawn care to dealing with any issues that arise. If you're not prepared for this, it can be quite overwhelming. Clearly, buying a house is not without its risks. But does renting have similar pitfalls? Scene script. Let's now explore the downsides of renting. What should potential renters be wary of? Firstly, when you're renting, you're essentially living in someone else's investment. This means you're paying into their equity, not your own. Each rent payment contributes to your landlord's mortgage, not to any asset you own. Unlike homeowners, renters don't build equity over time. Equity, the part of your property that you actually own, can be a significant financial resource. Secondly, renters are always subject to the potential for rent increases. While a fixed-rate mortgage maintains the same payment over the life of the loan, rent can increase with inflation, or at the landlord's discretion. This unpredictability can make budgeting a challenge for renters. In some markets, rent increases can be significant over time, making it more difficult for renters to save toward a home purchase or other financial goals. Thirdly, there's the issue of customization. Renting a house often comes with limitations regarding what you can change or improve in the property. Want to paint the walls a different color or install a new light fixture? You'll need to get the landlord's permission. Homeowners, on the other hand, have the freedom to make their home truly their own, making changes and improvements as they see fit. Lastly, there's a lack of stability when renting. A landlord can decide to sell the property or not to renew your lease for any number of reasons. This can lead to the inconvenience of having to move before you're ready, or before you've saved enough to secure a new place. Renting does provide some advantages, like lower upfront costs and fewer maintenance responsibilities. However, the lack of equity, potential for rent increases, limitations on customization, and instability can be significant downsides. So, both buying and renting have their own pros and cons, but how do we decide which one's right for us? Given these pros and cons, how does one decide between buying and renting? It's a question that has been asked countless times, and the answer is not as straightforward as one might think. Here's where an accountant's perspective can be helpful. First and foremost, consider your financial stability. Buying a house is a significant investment and involves a long-term financial commitment. So it's crucial to ensure that you're financially secure and can handle the associated costs without straining your budget. Next, contemplate your long-term plans. Do you see yourself living in the same area for the next several years? If so, buying might be a good option. But if your job or lifestyle requires frequent moves, renting can provide the flexibility you need. Lastly, don't forget to factor in your personal lifestyle preferences. If the thought of mowing the lawn, fixing leaky faucets, and handling other home maintenance tasks makes you cringe, renting might be a better fit. But if you relish the thought of having complete control over your living space and making it truly your own, buying could be the way to go. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. It's about weighing these factors against each other and considering what's best for you in your current situation. In the end, the decision to buy or rent is highly personal and depends on your unique circumstances. Hopefully, this discussion has given you some food for thought as you navigate your housing journey.